Hello, Gemini, and welcome to my channel, Tarot by Gabrielle. This is going to be a general reading for Sun, Moon, Rising, and Venus signs, looking at your connection to the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. We are looking at all three sides of the connection. We've got your energy toward it, their energy toward it, and the energy in between it. The concept being that there are three sides to every story. Looking at your version of the truth, their version of the truth, and this higher level unbiased truth in the middle, looking at what is the purpose of this connection and what is the best way for you to move forward in order to align further with your higher self. As always, I've gone ahead and pulled the overall energy for the reading and clarified those messages, which we'll jump into in just a second. I have the overall theme for the reading already pulled as well, and we have a different tarot deck that I'll be using for each side of this connection, as well as the advice deck I'll be using in the extended. Any information on the extended reading or on booking a personal reading with me is in the description box below. Last thing, please remember that these are general readings. They are not here to resonate fully for everyone, and they won't resonate fully for everyone. So please do take what does resonate and helps your personal situation and leave what does not. On that note, these energies can absolutely be swapped. So if you end up resonating more with the energy to my right than to my left, just know that's totally fine and totally normal. Again, the point is to take what helps your personal situation and leave what does not. All right, Gemini, on your side of this connection, you have second option with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This connection either does or did make you feel like an option. I feel like you didn't feel like a priority in this, or at the very least, you didn't feel like you didn't feel prioritized. Because with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse, this is an energy of, feeling undervalued, feeling taken for granted. And I feel as if that is maybe a cycle that you've experienced in your relationships in the past. Because the overall theme for the reading, I'm just going to show it now, is the Death card. So there's some sort of a cycle that's needing to come through to an end. Specifically, there's a cycle that was very brought forth in this connection, and I feel as if we'll get a lot more information on that when we start pulling tarot. Now, this person, they have some people never change with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. This Page of Pentacles in reverse is an energy of like immaturity. And that can come in so many different forms. It can be emotional maturity, it could be self-awareness, it could be just general, maturity, acting their age, or, acting as if they can kind of meet you on the same level intellectually. And I feel as if you saw a lot of potential in this person of like what they could be, but it kind of feels like they were never able to show up as that person in this connection, or haven't been able to show up as that person in this connection. Now, with the some people never change card, that isn't necessarily saying that this person is never going to change. So I don't want that to be taken as the message. But I do feel like there is going to be this kind of undertone of, we never want to wait for people to change, right? People can only meet us where they're at today. And even if we see where they could be, if they XYZ, if they healed, if they grew, if they were self-aware, or whatever the case is, there's no guarantee that that will ever actually be the case. And I feel as if that's kind of what you saw in this connection, was you saw like what this person could be if they like matured. Now, that mature word can again mean so many different things, so take it as it resonates for you. In between this connection, you have it still hurts with the 6 of Pentacles in reverse. So I feel like if this is a past connection, this is like this, there's still pain associated with it. And I feel like that is because of the amount of effort that you put into this versus the amount of effort that you receive from this. Because the 6 of Pentacles in reverse is an energy of lack of reciprocation, receiving a lot less than what it is that you're giving. And that lack of reciprocation can be something that can affect us deeply, because we can start to feel like maybe since, we're giving so much, but the other person isn't prioritizing us or giving just as much, that it has something to do with our worth, that we're not good enough, that, we're not able to be what the other person needs, when in reality, it might actually be the opposite, that this person wasn't really able to show up for you in the way that you needed. But again, we'll get a lot in this. I do talk like about these connections that I do often in the past tense, because like I said at the beginning, it's the person that you are dealing with and needing to learn the most from right now. So that might not be a connection that you're currently actively dealing with. It could be someone that you have dealt with in the past. But again, take it as it resonates. All right, Gemini, let's start with your side of this connection. You have second option with the 10 of Pentacles in reverse. This is for Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is Gemini side of this connection, please. Ooh. Okay. I mean, there's a 10 of Pentacles in reverse. You could have been dealing with a fire sign, Aries, Leo, Sagittarius. You definitely don't have to be. There's the World card, and there I knew we would see the World because we are dealing with a cycle in this connection of some sort. Now, there's that energy of being undervalued, right? And then the Seven of Cups is, again, like, to me, like feeling like an option, not feeling prioritized. But I feel like there's more to this. It's not just I feel like that you were undervalued or that you were taken for granted or that you felt like an option. I feel like it's almost like, I don't know if there were necessarily false promises, or if this person promised, or like, I guess not promised, but like said that they would do something, but then were never able to like follow up on that. Like, it feels like there's more to this than what is just coming out. So hang on, I actually want to clarify this, because it's almost like the way that they made you feel undervalued. Yeah, I don't need the cards. I know now. The way that they made you feel undervalued started making you second guess your own worth. Like with the Seven of Cups, it started getting you confused on what it is that you were deserving of. And that's kind of what I felt with like the It Still Hurts in the Six of Pentacles in reverse, is like, when we receive this lack of reciprocation, we can start to feel as if it has something to do with us, as if it's our value or our worth, us not being good enough, when in reality, the other person is literally just incapable of meeting you where you're at. So that's what this is it's like the way that you were undervalued, I feel like started making you, in a sense, like second guess yourself. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Like, am I good enough? Am I giving enough? Do I need to be more than I am in order to receive love? Things of that nature. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. It's the Ten of Pentacles again. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. There it is. King of Pentacles. King of Cups. Nine of Cups in reverse and the Devil. Okay. This to me feels like this connection, it's like it almost required you, or does require you, to show up. I don't know if it's like as someone that you're not, or because, okay, with the Devil and the Nine of Cups in reverse, this connection started to, or has started to, deeply affect you, like mentally, like mental health wise. Like, I feel like, when we're in a situation that takes up a large percent of our time and energy, and it isn't going so well, that can start to spill over into other aspects of our life. And I feel like that's kind of what happened here. Now, with the King of Pentacles and King of Cups and the Devil, I feel like what I'm seeing this as is, and this sounds bad, but bear with me. It's almost like you had to shrink yourself or to lower yourself in order to align with this person. I don't know if that's like in an intelligence level, like emotionally intelligent, an emotional intelligence level. I don't know. But I feel like it's almost like you had to, yeah, like shrink yourself or make yourself smaller in order to fit in the connection. I mean, you really wanted it to work with the devil here. I feel like there was almost this like attachment to this connection working. So you were almost willing to be what you need to be for this person. So it's kind of like you were willing to meet them where they're at. But I feel like they weren't capable of meeting you where you're at. And so it created this just like, it's like you guys missed each other almost when it comes to like alignment. I don't know if that makes sense. So bear with me. But that requiring you to like shrink yourself or make yourself smaller or like not be able to show up as yourself in this connection, it started to affect you mentally. Like it has started to take a toll on your mental health um, in some way, shape, or form. And maybe that's like a theme for you in relationships, like a cycle for you, like feeling like you always have to make yourself smaller or like no like feeling as if you've never met someone that can like meet you where you're at. You always have to meet others where they're at. And what that means is just that you haven't found the person that's able to meet you there. But let's get more. Gemini side of this connection. Gemini side of this connection. Now, when I talk about like shrinking yourself or lowering yourself or making yourself small, that's not me saying like you're better than this person, right? Like I don't want it to come off as that at all. Just in a different place in your life, in a way. I don't know. Okay, Gemini's side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Just in a different place, like emotionally or intellectually. The Star, the Nine of Wands in reverse, the Page of Swords, and then there's that same Six of Pentacles in reverse. With the Two of Wands in reverse at the bottom of the deck. Okay. So the biggest obstacle in this connection is communication. And one of the things you have to remember when we're talking about communication is how, or at least coming from your side, is that communication it has to be a two-way street. You can communicate all day long, but if someone isn't in a place where they're willing to be understanding or able to receive that communication, then there's not really communication happening because it's you're speaking and they're projecting or they've got a wall up, unable to, again, meet you there. So this is where I feel like we're getting into that energy of like you're showing up in this connection with so much effort. Like I feel like you've been willing to put forth so much effort in this connection, either coming from like an emotionally vulnerable place or I don't know, like it's like you're trying to make this work. I feel like that's what it comes down. You've been willing to do what it takes to try to make this connection work. But this person, it's like they have not met that level of effort. And no matter how much you try to talk to them about it or how much you try to explain what's bothering you, it just feels like you're not heard. Like that is what I feel like you're struggling with the most is just feeling like you're not heard or understood. And again, when that's the case, it can make you feel invalidated. It can make you feel like there's something wrong with you, like you're asking for too much or you're unable to meet this person where they're at, when in reality I feel like it's actually the other way around. Now I'm not saying there's anything wrong with this person, they just might not be in a place right now to meet you where you need to be met. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with, please. There's the lack of feeling prioritized, but then there's the Knight of Wands in reverse. Ooh, okay. Actually, I'm going to put that on the bottom. Okay, so here's what's interesting about what I'm gathering from we're just looking at your side, is you're prioritizing this connection, right? You're putting forth all of this effort, all of this energy. Now, this person doesn't meet you there. And they make you start to feel not good enough because of that. They make you start to question your worth. They make you start to question, I know that I already said this, but bear with me. They make you start to question whether or not you're good enough for them and so on and so forth. But the crazy thing that I'm seeing in this is that it's almost like these two energies are in like completely different places. And what you're wanting is almost a version of this person that doesn't exist. And so you're giving, giving, giving. I feel like you're giving to this connection out of the hopes that this person is going to like raise to meet you where you're at. And that leaves you feeling disappointed and undervalued because you feel, why won't this person meet me here? Why won't they rise, to the occasion? Why won't they communicate? Why won't they open up? Why won't they XYZ? When in reality, that doesn't have anything to do with you. Because if you put like a separation between these two journeys, right? You're up here, this person's down here. Their inability to meet you where you're at makes you feel smaller, makes you feel not good enough, when in reality it's about the fact that they're unable to meet you there. I don't know, it's interesting how it's affecting you, but like what's really going on behind the scenes is like, I don't want this to come off as me saying like you're too good for them, because that's not at all what I'm trying to get through. It just feels like you're in a different place and ready to accept or give a kind of love that this person isn't able to recognize. And it's not that they're not willing to because you're not good enough, it's that they're not able to because of where they're at. If you think like vibrational match and things like that. But their lack of prioritizing you has you questioning your own self-worth, when in reality, it doesn't have anything to do with your worth, like at all. Like at all. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. This is for Gemini side of this connection. Now, you do have it still hurts here, right? Like, it still hurts with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. So this is not, I don't want you to think that this means that, like, even if you recognize that they're incapable of meeting you where you're at, it's still painful. People being unable to meet us where we need to be met and to love us the way that we desire and deserve, like, that's still painful when they're incapable of doing that. But at the very least, I hope that this comes across as like a message of hope, to say that it's not that you're not deserving of the love that you desire. It's just that it's almost like, I don't want to say you're looking for it in the wrong place necessarily, because I do feel like this person has potential, but like with where they're at right now, it's like they're not able to give it to you. And that has nothing to do with you. So the Sun in reverse, Four of Swords in reverse, and Nine of Swords, but this is a cycle for you, Gemini, looking like, it's like looking for love from people, or looking to love and love from people that like aren't able to recognize it and give it back. This is something that I feel like you have repeated in relationships, maybe not even just in romantic relationships, like friendships as well. Like, almost like, how do I say that? Trying to prove that you're deserving of love by looking for someone who's incapable of loving you, to love you. And then when they aren't capable of loving you, not that it has anything to do with you, I feel like you have a tendency to take that personally and make it feel like it's something to do with you. It's almost like this validating that there's something wrong with you, even though it doesn't have anything to do with you. But when you're in that dynamic enough times, it can start to feel like it's your fault, or it can start to feel like you're doing something wrong. Now, I'm not saying like you're completely perfect and it's all this person, right? That's not how I want this to come off either. Because again, we're looking at all three sides of the connection. We'll get more when we see over here what's kind of going on with them. But, there is a cycle for you of looking for love in people that just like straight up are not able to give it to you. And then, like, when that's the case, it brings up these fears and doubts and anxieties that you're never going to be loved or you're never going to have the love that you deserve. When in reality, there is someone out there that can love you the way that you're wanting this person to love you. But it's almost like, since you don't believe that that's true, you look for it in people that are incapable of it out of hopes that it's going to change. Because then at that point, at least you see like potential, right? Waiting for your vibrational match can make it seem like there's no hope, there's no potential. Trying to push someone to change or hoping that someone changes to meet you at your vibrational level, at least in that way, you have some sort of control. And that's kind of what, but like with the Four of Swords in reverse, like your soul is really tired of this and your soul wants to feel loved for who you are without this added layer of feeling like you have to prove yourself in some way, shape, or form in order to be loved. I hope this is making sense. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with. Gemini side of this connection to the person they are dealing with, please. Yeah, so this is karmic. And there's the Queen of Wands. So again, you could be dealing with a fire sign. Because this is definitely their energy. This is a very karmic thing, though, for you. It's like you're putting all of this pressure on you in order for the connection to work, when in reality, this person is just not meeting you halfway or like at all. I don't even think they're meeting you like a third of the way. So you're kind of stuck in this cycle of wanting and being deserving of love, but dealing with someone that isn't able to love you like you deserve. And it doesn't mean that you're never going to find that. Like, because I feel like oftentimes when we see potential in someone, we can think like, oh, if this person doesn't love me the way that I'm deserving of, like, then I'm never going to be loved. Because you see that potential and you think, if this potential doesn't happen, this is the only way I'm going to receive the love I deserve. But that's never true. There is always an opportunity to be loved in the way that we deserve, even if we lose that potential in one form. All right, this person's energy toward Gemini, please. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. Some people never change with the Page of Pentacles in reverse. What does Gemini need to know about this person's energy toward them? This person's energy toward Gemini, please. So they do have love for you. Oh, boy. But then they have this King of Cups in reverse. Oh, my gosh. Okay. Okay. A lot going on here. They do have love for you. The Two of Cups. I just don't think they have any idea what to do with this. It's almost like they're holding this cup of love that they have for you, and they're like, and instead of like filling your cup, they're like throwing it over their shoulder. Like, I don't know what to do with this. I don't know if that makes sense, but it literally just feels like this person is like, I don't know what to do with this love that I have for this person. And so what they do is they sabotage it. They don't know how to handle it, and so they run from it. And with the King of Cups in reverse, there's almost this energy of even being a little bit emotionally abusive with it. And it's not, this doesn't feel, this King of Cups in reverse, this does not feel like this is coming from like an evil place or like a bad place. It feels like this person literally does not have any clue how to handle the love that you have to give. And so they're doing whatever they can to maintain control, because when we experience love for the first time, like true unconditional love from someone who is willing to show up for us, to give us what it is that we're, deserving of, and we've never experienced that before, we're not gonna have any freaking idea how to handle it. And that's definitely what this person is dealing with. Like, it's like you show up in this, you're willing to give so much, you're willing to do whatever it takes, and this person literally being here does not have any clue how to handle that. And so their response to that is, what can I do to maintain my control? This is making me feel so uncomfortable. I don't know how to handle this. So how can I regain control of this? And it comes off as manipulative. And that's them trying to push you away, because it's easier for them to handle that than it is to actually like learn to love themselves and therefore learn to accept love from you. But again, this does not feel like this person is in any way, shape, or form like a bad person. And maybe you know that. And maybe that's why you've been so willing to to put so much effort into this. But one of the things that you have to remember is that unconditional love, and I say this in a lot of my readings, unconditional love does not equal unconditional tolerance. Loving someone unconditionally, seeing their potential, recognizing that they're deserving of love regardless of their flaws, all of those things are wonderful qualities to have. But that does not mean that you have to bear the burden of this person's emotional unavailability or lack of emotional intelligence or lack of maturity or whatever the case is, for the sake of this person being deserving of love. Because you are deserving of just as much of all those things that I just said, without having to bear this like treatment that you've been receiving. This person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. This person's energy toward Gemini. See, and that's okay. So this is a cycle for this person, sabotaging. But instead of like recognizing that, they're trying to just like continue to move forward. Like sabotaging the good that they do have. And there's that Queen of Wands again. But it just feels like instead of but then we see, I'm pretty sure we saw the King of Cups and King of Pentacles, maybe. I don't remember. But we've seen a lot of different signs. So take this as it resonates. But sabotaging connections is something that this person is absolutely like done a lot of. And I feel, yeah, because we're at the Six of Cups. Like this is like not new to them, the way that they're handling this. But instead of like doing what they need to break this cycle, they keep trying to just move forward without having to face any of the stuff that comes with breaking cycles. Because breaking cycles means having to do the hard stuff, having to take that really hard look in the mirror and recognize, how the role that you've played in your own suffering, and recognize how you've made mistakes and how you haven't shown up as your best self and where that stems from, and without blame and judgment and shame, trying to take that out of the picture, because that's a whole nother level of healing, and being able to like face yourself in ways that are really uncomfortable and in ways that are not fun. And if this person isn't, it's like they're not willing to do that hard work to be for you what it is that you need. So going back to kind of my example before, here you are, having done the work, having, learned to be more self-aware, having learned to take accountability and things like that. And this person is down here, and you're seeing them as like, you're seeing this potential, right, of what they could be, but they're down here vibrational wise, not saying like, anyway, I'm not defending that anymore. You're seeing what they could be, and you're taking it personally that they're not here. But it does not, it literally, Gemini, I wish that I could like get you to see like how this is all like is energy wise, that it literally does not have anything to do with your worth. Now, there is a part of you that feels like your worth is dependent on whether or not this person gets here. But that doesn't make any sense when you look at it from like a logical, sense. Is like this person doing their healing, facing themselves, doing all of that, that has to do with their own journey, their own healing, their own self-love. And they're projecting their lack of self-love and inability to prioritize what's good for them onto you. It doesn't have anything to do with you. But I completely understand you are a human being with real human emotions, having real human experiences. So of course it's not, it's not all like that. But what I want you to try to do is zoom out this bigger picture and see that there's so much more going on here than what meets the eye. Right? This person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. See, this person has their own fears, doubts, and insecurities going on here. And that's why they sabotage. And there's the Page of Pentacles in reverse. So that's where that comes from. They haven't faced like any of their insecurities or doubts about themselves. They haven't faced their own internal battle yet. And I feel like you kind of got stuck in trying to take on this person's internal battle. And trying to help this person see their value. Trying to get them to learn to love themselves. Trying to get them to learn to, to heal. But when we do that, when we are trying to heal or fix or, whatever the case is, other people, we're actually trying to heal and fix ourselves through them. We're trying to say, you're so deserving of love regardless of your flaws to someone else, when in reality, our soul is saying, no, you, Gemini, are so deserving of love regardless of your flaws. And you do not have to be in a position where you are sacrificing your worth for the sake of loving someone else or to receive the bare minimum love that you have been receiving. So there is a cycle here for both people. This person isn't a bad person though. I can tell you that much. I don't feel like they are I don't feel like they have like malicious intentions or anything like that. I just feel like they are not at a place to show up for you in the way that you are deserving of. And that's frustrating for sure. But people don't change for other people. People change when they realize that they need to. And sometimes that means they have to hit their own form of rock bottom in order to get to that point. This person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini. Yeah, because they don't have any idea what they want. And that's, I feel like, yeah, okay. Because you're very confusing for them for some reason. Because there you are, as the Queen of Swords, whether you're male or female, it doesn't matter. It's like they don't know. You're not easy for them. I don't know a better way to put that. Like, if you're not easy for them. You're something that complicates their emotions, that makes them have to feel different kinds of things. And this person doesn't want to feel those types of things. And so you feeling like an option in this person's life is their way of trying to distract themselves from the things that they don't want to feel, that this connection makes them feel. And I feel like to you, it feels like they don't value you, or they don't see that you're not, good enough, or they feel like you're not good enough for them, or whatever the case is. And that's not, that doesn't feel like that's the case. It just feels like this person is dead set on doing what they can to avoid what makes them feel uncomfortable, which is the complicated emotions that this connection brings up for them. And that's why, like, I feel like they don't know what they want, because they know that they have love for you. But I almost feel like it's like, but they don't have any idea. Like, maybe this person's pretty used to like surface level relationships. relationships that are easy, that don't take much work, but eventually fizzle out because there's no real connection, or like aren't able to make it through the tough stuff because there's no real communication. Like, I don't necessarily know exactly what it is, but I do know that what you bring to the table in this is too much for them to handle. And maybe they're just in the place, maybe they are doing healing and they're just not at a place in their healing journey where they're able to, you know, to accept what you had to give. Because we can only accept the amount of love that we are willing to give ourselves. We can only give the amount of love we're willing to give ourselves too. And if this person isn't, doing the healing or hasn't gotten to the point on their healing journey where they're able to do that, well, then that's where they're at, right? That doesn't have anything to do with you. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. Person's energy toward Gemini. This person's energy toward Gemini, please. Person's energy toward Gemini, please. Two of Cups. What is this? Two of Cups, the Hangman, the Tower. It's like as soon as things get hard, this person, it's like they don't fight for anything. They don't, as soon as it gets hard, it's like they surrender to things falling apart. With the Hangman and the Tower, it's like they're just like, oh, if things are hard, then like whatever, it's not worth it. It's just gonna fall down. And maybe this person has never been in a connection where someone is willing to like grow with them and communicate through tough things with them. Because if there's anything that I've learned throughout my relationships and then now being in like the healthiest relationship I've ever had, it's that things are not always going to be good. But it also doesn't mean that things have to be so bad. Like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like there have been challenges and there have been things that we've had to go through, but through each and every one of those things, it's actually been for the benefit of our relationship because there was something that we needed to learn about each other. Or we grew from that, or we learned to love each other in a deeper way or in a whole new way, or whatever the case is. And every negative thing, it was challenging, but it wasn't hard. It wasn't like we didn't suffer through it or anything like that. And those challenges in our relationship have actually ended up being a really, really good, positive thing for our relationship. Now, I had never experienced that before. For me, anytime that things have ever been challenging in a relationship, it was like, well, that was either the end or it was something that would get ignored and come out in other ways. Like, I had never been in a connection with someone that could handle challenges in a healthy way because, to be honest, I had never been at a place in my life where I could handle challenges in a healthy way. And so for me in the past, I can kind of empathize with this person a little bit. When things would get hard, triggered me would come out and I would either run or I would get a little nasty about it just because that's what I had learned to do was like fight or flight, right? And that comes with like learning to trust someone else. And if this person has never been in a place in their life where they can like trust someone, first and foremost, that probably means they have a lot more healing to do before getting into some sort of connection. But I feel like that's why when things get kind of difficult or when things got complicated or when those uncomfortable emotions came out, why they did whatever they could to control and run from this, because it I want to look at it from a place of empathy for this person. They've never had that kind of connection to like learn and grow with. And so that's why I don't feel, and I think it's important to understand that, we should have empathy for other people and understand what it is they're going through, but then also at the same time have enough empathy for ourselves to set boundaries, regardless of that, and knowing that we need to love ourselves first. But it feels like that it's just this person is so used to things going poorly in their relationships that they kind of expected that coming into it, which is why it's just like they're not at a place to be able to give what it is that you need in this connection because I don't feel like they've healed from the past that causes them to put their guard up so much. And there's no guarantee they ever will. That's one of the biggest things that I had to learn on my journey too, was that, again, people don't change for other people. They change when they recognize that they have to. And sometimes that means they've got to go through their karmic cycles and hit their rock bottom in order to do so. This person's energy toward Gemini. Literally, they're not aligned with you. The Two of Wands in reverse. They're like not aligned with you. They're not aligned with love. They're not able to align themselves with love. And so if they're not able, or at least at the very least, healthy love, and if they're not able to do that, then they're not going to align with the love that you have to give. Gosh, my Gemini readings are so long. I also feel like I need to say I am working so hard on not talking so fast in my readings. Trust me, I see your guys' comments. It is something that I have literally dealt with since I was a kid. I mean, in all of my careers, I was a financial advisor, I was a real estate agent, and I had done public speaking in college and things like that, and I have always struggled with talking too fast, and it obviously is coming out in these readings. So bear with me. It is something I am trying to bring more of my awareness to. Sometimes in my readings, it's like messages come through so quickly that I'm just trying to freaking speak as I'm like channeling information. And so sometimes I know that it can seem like I'm like, blah, 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 but it's literally just me trying to like get it all out there. It's something I'm working on. I hope this reading was a little bit better, at least in some points. I caught myself several times talking a little too fast, but it is something I'm working on. Otherwise, we're going to hop on over to the extended. It still hurts with the Six of Pentacles in reverse. I'm going to pull 9 different messages, and then I have a advice card to pull at the end. The information for that's in the description box below. Thank you so much, Gemini, as always, for your support of my channel. I do hope that this reading helped and resonated with you in a way that you were needing today. And as always, Gemini, I wish you nothing but love and healing on your journey moving forward. All right, bye, Gemini.